Saludos amigos, KASH here, President and CEO of Real Estate in Terrenas.com. Hi guys, today's video is a video we really never thought we'd be doing here in Las Terrenas when we moved here. However, like all of you know, Las Terrenas is pretty resilient as far as the ability to withstand the hurricanes, and I'll explain that a little bit later on in this video about why we don't get hit by the hurricanes and why this was different and why this happened. It happens like once every 70, 80 years. I'll explain that in the video, but right now what we're doing is I'm going for a quick walk with KARISSA a week later here in Las Terrenas on Playa Bonita, where we live. Right behind me is Playa Bonita Beach Residences in the distance, okay? So we're visiting that, and we're gonna go for a walk all the way down Bonita, and then we're gonna go down Casone as well. And we're gonna capture, you know, just to give you guys an update, you can kind of see what it looks like. You can see how, this is something we're gonna talk about as well, how resilient Las Terrenas was in numerous ways. The people, the environment, the ecological landscape, the mountains, the rivers, how everything functioned to get us to where we are 7 days later. Okay, so yeah, Chris is gonna be coming along for this walk. And
hi, everybody.
She is, yeah, we're just gonna soak it all in, and we thought we'd share it all with you. So we're just starting on the trail right now. I'm gonna spin the camera around. So as you can see, we're just starting. We've left Playa Bonita Beach Residence, and as of right now, this is, and as Chris is saying here, it's 1 week later, okay? So one thing that someone was mentioning to me, you can see we really didn't lose much. We didn't lose any beach, really. I'm not feeling like we lost any beach. I've saw some videos, Punta Cana, Cabrera, stuff like that, where some of the beaches have been lost. I'm not noticing that here so far on Bonita. Is it pushed back a little bit? Yes, but nothing completely out of the norm. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. This looks like a normal higher tide right now. It's not overly, looks like the waves did come up though during the hurricane.
Here's this residence. You can see they got the storm shutters on it. They took a pretty decent beating, and most of what we are noticing here is trees. Okay, we're seeing a lot of downed trees, and because of those downed trees, you're getting power lines that were hit in that process. As you can see, this is 7 days later, and everything looks pretty much in check. See, everything looks pretty much back to where it was, and like I was saying, 7 days later. One thing that you're noticing is you're going to notice the line of sight is different because trees have been broken. You're seeing this here, this little mess here. This was an empty plot that was here that was sold about a year ago, but you weren't able to see through this before. This was completely covered with trees, palm trees. You're seeing the backside of Mosquito here. We talk about that place a lot. You can see clearly the backside, and we never saw that before, right?
Yeah.
The fence is broken, which was always up there. But back to the water side of this path, you can see everything looks pretty much, if I didn't know a hurricane came, I might not know by looking at the water's edge that something happened. And here we're coming by one of our favorite spots, Mosquito. Looks like business as usual.
Back to normal, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the big almond tree is gone.
Okay, so right here where Chris is talking,
It's chopped down.
there's a huge almond
It was
tree.
huge.
There's a huge almond tree that was right there. What I heard, and I'll get the specifics on it.
I think they replanted. I think it came unroot like that.
Yeah, that
Came
tree
from the root.
actually, you can see which one I'm pointing at right there, right in the center of the screen. That actually derooted. It fell over, and that tree was basically about as high as the palm tree behind it. It fell over, and what I heard is these amazing owners, they went ahead and trimmed it and replanted it, and they're gonna let it regrow. That is very noble of them. It's cool. So as you can see, you're looking at the Mosquito. Most palm trees seem to have survived here. The structure survived. This structure is back in place. A spot L loves. The drink bus is back there, the surf shop. Everything seems to...
do the roof
They got to do the roof over there, but the hotel, the boutique hotel back there seems to have survived pretty well. One thing I'm noticing right away, mosquito, they did clear the sand here on their path. Okay, they pushed the sand off, but you can see during the hurricane, I've never seen sand on this, so the sand pushed right up off of the ocean. Look at this place. You were never really able to see back into here before. This was, you couldn't see a structure back there because there was so much greenery. So guys, one thing I've noticed is the sand, okay? Obviously you can see right now it's high tide and still kind of, the waves do come in a little bit further here, and this is further than usual. Oh, this place right here looks like they lost their roof, or they're repairing their roof. It was a thatch roof, so that blew off, as you can see. So there's a lot of sand here. You can see how much sand was up here. They're cleaning it up. These guys are cleaning up this sand right now. ¿Cómo está? Bien, bien. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. So what are you noticing right now, Chris? What are some of the main things you're noticing?
Cleanup is surprisingly going really fast, I would say, compared to some of the photos we saw of all the trees down and whatnot.
Wow, this villa is looking amazing.
That is looking amazing.
So this is a villa in the background right here that's being built. Okay, we haven't seen it this far along, but they got a pool set up right there on the water. You can see how gorgeous this villa is going to be. They're putting in a wood roof. Maybe there's thatch on top. All this privacy plants here. They're sitting right here on the ocean. This is, I'd say, the newest villa that we've seen, newest addition to this area. And that villa seems to, and that's new construction, and it didn't move, right?
Not from what we've seen.
Wow, that's beautiful though. So we're back on the path here. You can see this part of the path has been completely cleaned up. We're coming up on another villa here on the left that I've never been able to see in the past, and now I can perfectly see it. See it?
This is Beluga.
Now we're at
They're
Beluga,
renovating
yeah.
right now.
Oh, they're renovating?
Yeah. They had already started all this.
Oh, okay. So
Renovating the villa.
Karissa is explaining to me that this is all part of, they were doing construction anyway, so that's not hurricane damage per se, at least she believes. Because they had already started renovations here at Beluga. Right here in the distance, you can see that's Beluga, one of our favorite restaurants.
There.
These are all rentals, part of the hotel.
It's the restaurant.
And there's a restaurant that we love called Beluga. So their canopy that they put up about a year ago, that survived, the thatch survived, but they were redoing it anyway. So, yeah, this is one of our favorite restaurants. What we're going to be coming up on here in a second is a very interesting site. It's quite overwhelming. Chris is going to explain it to you here in a second, but here's Beluga, the sign. This is, if you do come here, this is going to be open soon. I don't believe they're open yet. They are remodeling, not because of the hurricane, but in advance of the hurricane. Beluga, right there. Okay, so we're moving along. Explain to them what they're going to see here next, and explain where it came from.
I don't know for certain where it came from, but I'm pretty sure that this catamaran boat was parked all the way near Playa
Punta Poppy.
Punta Poppy.
Correct.
Like, you know, a few, I don't know how far out in the ocean.
Well, it's basically all the way around. Basically around that little hill you see in the distance. You go around that, and I've showed you guys videos. You go around that, and you would be at Playa Las Ballenas, and then you go all the way to the end of Playa Las Ballenas, and then you're at Punta Poppy, and that's where you do see these catamarans docked.
And this one looks like it flew all the way over here to Playa Bonita.
We're going past some more villas in the distance here. This one didn't seem to take too much damage at all.
No. lot of debris.
See, the roof is dented a little bit, maybe a tree hit. But here you go, guys. Look at this thing. This is first time I'm seeing it. This is pretty powerful. That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. We saw
Wow.
pictures of it, but
Didn't see it up close and
right up
personal.
here.
So they've already got it. They've got it perched up on some wood so it doesn't get more damage. But I don't know how they do it. I'm sure there's a way to do it. But look at the size of this thing.
Unless they parked it, you know.
I don't think they parked it here. I think it showed up here. Look at that. Isn't that insane? Wow, that's powerful. So look at this, guys.
Big tree again.
Look at this massive, look at the roots. So this is something I was going to explain too. This place is, I don't really know what's happening with this place, but it's kind of been sitting in this shape for quite a while. However, the grounds, the trees, look in the distance here. You can see the trees toppled again right there. See that? So one thing I wanted to show you guys is this. Look at the depth of these roots. There's the tree itself. I think you got about, what would you say that's about 3 or 4 feet? The roots are going down. The core of the roots are going down about 3.5 feet.
Yeah. That was a big tree.
That was a big tree. So guys, one thing, the reason we have so many trees down is because of the nature of the soil here, okay? You have an environment or a soil base that is, you have sand, and that's why you see in a lot of the construction we're doing caliche, because you have the sand that goes, you have the sand, and then you have the water table. It's pretty close underneath you. Therefore the roots, they don't go down deep because they would be hitting salt water, okay? The roots they spread wide. And when you have a hurricane force winds that come in, like just happened, because they're spread wide and not down and deep like we have in Canada or US or northern weather, not right next to the ocean, the trees toppled as they have, okay? So this is Casa Grande. You can see it's pretty much business as usual. A little bit of damage on that roof over there in the distance. But yeah, this is a restaurant called Casa Grande, and looks like they're up and business as usual here, just like Mosquito and the other restaurant that we went past. So guys, if you have questions related to it, it's Playa Bonita open for business? Yes, of course. Is Las Terrenas open for business? Yes, of course.
There's still areas here with no power. Half of Playa Bonita, I don't believe, has power. They're running off generators if they have them.
But there is a positive in there, right? So
Yeah.
there's a positive, there's a silver lining in there. And that silver lining is what they're doing in Playa Bonita is they're running all new power.
Yeah, all new wiring.
All new wiring. As we, when you drive down the road, you can see new power lines being run, and they're running it all the way down, right from the beginning of Playa Bonita, all the way through, right to the end of Playa Bonita, right to Cap Bonita. So that is going to make this this power grid even more stable. Okay, it's going to be even stronger, even more stable. And so, you know, obviously the hurricane was disastrous, and nobody ever wanted for that to happen, or ever wants for a hurricane to happen. However, there is positives that can come out of bad situations. Okay, I'm a very, very strong believer in that. Chris, I want to add a couple quick comments related to like how much debris did come from the hurricanes and how much, how they've cleaned that up.
And we haven't been to any of the other beaches yet, just solely Playa Bonita, but you know, within a week, and from seeing and hearing from friends of ours how, you know, so many trees down and branches and things like that, looks like it's getting cleaned up pretty quickly. Everything's pretty much back to normal if you didn't know that there was a hurricane.
Yeah, and I think that's key. What we're looking at right now is 7 days later. So 7 days later, if you didn't know there was a hurricane that passed through, there's a possibility you might not know. Key thing is from walking this path in Playa Bonita. Okay. Obviously, when you drive through, there's some areas
Yeah, we
that
did see it, yeah.
there's areas that are very hard hit, and you can really clearly see that.
Yeah.
But when you go through this path, it's just. But there's another element of this is the tenaciousness and how hard these guys are. The people in Las Terrenas came together, the locals, people that live here. Everybody really kind of pulled together. And the city, I commend the mayor. They really went to work. People working overtime. They were calling people in to come and start cleanups. So they really pushed hard. And 7 days later, you can really see the results of that. The one thing that really surprising to me is how you see through the landscape now. You realize exactly how many trees there were, because it's almost like a different path, because you're seeing right through, where before you didn't see right through. You couldn't see houses in the distance. You couldn't see the neighborhoods. Of course, we're in a very tropical environment, and all of this will grow back very, very quick. We're already seeing on our drive through from Alcate that you can see all the trees and shrubs that are broken, but you can already see the new leaves that are sprouting out. So it happens very fast. So same thing here. There's a beautiful multi-million-dollar villa being built right there. You weren't really able to see it from this angle before. You can see it when you're straight on, but you're seeing right through to the mountains in the background, where before you didn't see that. They've started construction. There was 4 lots here when we first came down. The sign is gone. But there was 4 lots here, 4 long lots that were all for sale. I believe the price was like 1.4, 1.5 million, something like that. And they ran all the way across here. They all since been sold, and one villa is almost finished. These are $3, $4, $5 million villas. One is finished, and the second one is going, and then there'll be a third and a fourth. All sitting here enjoying this view. Here's another example of some palm trees. You can see exactly how these, why there were so many trees that toppled, because of the way the root system is on these, on the palm trees. They're just wide, so they're not digging deep. Now, another thing that we want to talk about on this walk. Oh, this is different. I never saw this. Look at the storm drain. I didn't know that existed down here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Part of the infrastructure. It's getting a little tight here, so this path, you guys can watch one of my old videos, you can see this path exactly. This area did take a little bit of a beating, right? So we're gonna walk around this right here. This path really took a beating. So I think you guys have saw some videos of, FIONA. We're gonna let this big German Shepherd pass. He's a big boy. You saw some videos of FIONA, how it hit other areas and how catastrophic it was. Hola, ¿cómo está? You saw how catastrophic it was. And one of the things we noticed here was the ecologically, the geography of Las Terrenas. How Las Terrenas has been naturally set up and naturally grown, because you've got the mountainscape, as you can see in the background. You got the river systems that flow into the ocean. Okay, but it all worked in tandem and perfectly. Everything flowed exactly how it was supposed to by Mother Nature. The rivers didn't overflow. The water didn't come in. I was speaking to somebody the other day regarding Cabrera, and they were explaining to me how in Cabrera the ocean came in about 100 meters. So the angle of the beaches, the angle of the landscape going back to the mountains, the rivers that flow out of the mountains. There's another area that is nearby here called Barbacoa. I heard that got hit very hard with flooding, where Las Terrenas really didn't experience any flooding that was outside of the norm. And that is something that is noteworthy for you North Americans that might be a little nervous about the fact that a hurricane actually came and hit Las Terrenas directly. The one positive, a big positive here for me, is that yes, this happened, and yes, of course we live in the Caribbean and we should expect for this to happen. Once every 70 years is not bad odds, but when it does, you can see how the rivers flowed, how the mountains flowed, how the ocean is positioned perfectly, so the water was able to retreat, able to get out. There's another villa. We're now walking. We're about to make the magical turn here and then you see all of Cassone. Okay, I've done this walk with you guys numerous times, but you're about to see that. So we're coming up on that corner. All this land has been sold, and there's going to be more villas going here. But that is a big positive. Okay, a lot of trees came down, power lines came down, but we didn't have flooding. We didn't have the ocean come barreling in and go in hundreds and hundreds of meters into this, into our beautiful city. So we're gonna close off this video here in a minute. Me and Chris are gonna continue our walk. We're just gonna make this bend and we're gonna show you Cassone, and hopefully this video helped you guys out. Those that can't be here with us, you kind of get a good feel for what happened on that beautiful path. I have a video online of that path, of all the restaurants. So key thing is Las Terrenas survived. 7 days later, it's already bouncing back. Restaurants are open. Las Terrenas is open for business, so head on down if you were planning on coming, and know that Las Terrenas can withstand a direct hit from a hurricane, and it did it with flying colors. It truly did. The rivers worked well for us, the mountains, the oceans, everything flowed perfect. The people did great, and we're sitting here 7 days later. All right, guys.